Raskar sir, start the recording.
It is started, sir.
Okay, you can start.
Recording is.
Golab sir,
Yes.
start.
Good morning. I, Dr. Sharad Gholab, coordinator for 1 week national level FDP on green and secure communication organized by the Department of ENTC Lonavala. This 1 week FDP is technically sponsored by IEEE Bombay section and the IEEE student branch SIT Lonavala. I welcome you all for day 4 session on industry perspectives 4.0 concern with green and secure communication. Today we are fortunate to have with us Dr. Swaminathan as a today's speaker. So I will brief about the Dr. Swaminathan. Doc, welcome Swaminathan sir and Dr.
Namaskar,
Swaminathan.
sir. Thank you.
Namaste. Swaminathan has received the BE degree from Anna University, Chennai, the MTech degree from Shastra University, and he has completed his doctorate degree in Anna University, Chennai. He is currently working as a professor in QS College of Engineering and Technology, Andhra Pradesh. He has published his work in many referred international journals and international conference proceedings. He is an active reviewer and editor for the Wireless Personal Communication Springer, guest editor for many Scopus index journals, and in various IEEE and Springer conferences around the world. His area of interest includes IoT, sensors, and OFDM. He is a professional member in GISP, CTIF Global Capsule, IEEE and IEEE SSIT, and IET. He has chaired a special session in IEEE conferences, INDICOM 2015 and 2016, and CSI 2015. So, Dr. Swaminathan, you may start your session.
Yeah, Professor, you can share your screen.
Okay, sir.
Flash it. Yeah,
so,
thank you.
whether my screen is visible? Yeah.
Participants are requested to mute yourself. If you have any query, you can unmute and you can ask the question. But request to mute your mic. Okay, thank you. Professor, you can start.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Sharat Golab. It is indeed a very nice briefing about me. Respected Dr. Chowdhury, Vice Principal and Head of the Department Electronic and Telecommunication, and respected Professor Dr. Mantri Saab, Professor, Department of Electronic Telecommunication, Singapore Institute of Technology, Lenovala. So, and the session coordinator, Dr. Sharat Golab. Indeed, it is a very warming session. I've been very happy to take part in this particular FDP. And Professor Mantri Saab has given me a very excellent topic in which is we need to be discussed, industry perspective 4.0. So here the main important thing why we need why this industry perspective 4.0 is the need of the hour. So the first what is mean by industry 4.0? People are telling industry 3.0, 4.0, 5.0. so many things. What is mean by Industry 4.0? So the simple thing is the evolution of the mechanization, because this industry, how the industry is getting changed. Industry means both the manufacturing sector and the service sector, how it is getting evolved, so that how the country's economy is going. Okay, Industry 1.0 means we are doing the mechanization. We are, for example, doing extracting the crude oils. That is the main important thing in the world level. First mechanization is happened in the Gulf countries when they have found out a huge crude oil reserve is available in the Gulf countries. Then constructing dams. So that's why in the periods of 70s and 80s, we have seen most people wanted to study civil engineering and mechanical engineering. Then slowly we moved to Industry 2.0, where we need a mass production and assembly, right? We we have surplus raw materials. For example, we have surplus coal, we have surplus raw material, but we don't know how to do the transportation. We don't have the facility of the roads, and we don't have the we don't have the technology in doing in mass production. So that is the main important deviation. So we launched the Industry 2.0, where we concentrated on mass production and assembly lines. So that is the main important thing. Currently, we are in Industry 3.0. Industry 3.0 is mainly launched during 1991 excellent budget session given by our former Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh. That he became the catalyst force for that Industry 3.0, where we have seen even though he presented it, the through it gets speeded up in last of 1990s and early 2000s, where we have seen the IT industry and the computer evolving, and automation is getting evolved in the early 2000s. So that is the Industry 3.0, where we have seen little bit of robotics, where robotics has been used as a household materials and in industry productions, mass industry productions. It has been used, where we have seen mostly it has been used in the countries like Japan. Now everywhere else. Now we are slowly evolving, and we are slowly moving into the Industry 4.0, where we are moving into a smart factory. Okay, smart factory, anything in autonomous, where there is no need for, if you see in Industry 3.0, still there is a need for the man to assist the machines, where they have to do the mass production and assembly and making the storage, everything else. But in Industry 4.0, there is no need. Everything became a smart factory, smart automobile systems, smart manufacturing system, and smart environment, smart pollutionless factories will be is going to get constructed without the help of the man. That is the evolving of Industry 4.0, where we are mostly going to concentrate on the autonomous system. Here, as far as India, where we can concentrate, Industry 4.0 listed with starting from 5G communication and in some manufacturing sectors and in IoT, machine learning, everything else. But for India, what we can evolve, India in leaders in what we can evolve these things. India, we are leaders in IT. India, we are leaders in pharma industries. India, we are leaders in automobile. Our products are has been excellent. So how the technology which are going to be implemented in the industry 4.0 revolution will boost the our country's economy, how our teachers and the participants and organizers going to play a major role, those things just we are going to see. So industry 3.0, as I already told you, it is fully of having IT and computer technology, where the mobile and mobile app, that is the evolve of Android mobiles, is not seen in the industry 3.0. That is the main important thing, and the main gap between the industry 3.0 and 4.0. The mobile going to play an important role. The Android mobile or any other mobile, smart mobile, is going to play a important role in the industry 4.0, machine learning and online connectivity. Okay, the thing is now I have not seen past in 2014 or 15. I have never ever heard of online presentation or online lectures or online conferences. I have seen only in-person presentation, either in any conferences which I have attended. I have to travel n number of times to Delhi, especially in Bharati Vidyadeep. For since I am one of a conference organizer, I have involved in those things. Now there is no need. I am just connected to my laptop. I am in my online. I am just started to do the presentation. So this is one of the evolving thing in the industry 4.0, providing solution from the remote center. This is another one important significant thing. See, I have a issue in my laptop, a software issue. Previously, what I have done, usually I will take my laptop and I will give it to the service center, and he will sort out the issue. Now there is no need. I just have installed a small software called as AnyDesk or TeamViewer. I have just installed it so that I have connected with the service center in a remote location. The service center has just rectified the issues, the software issues, and what are the need in the remote center itself through the connectivity. So there is no need to the time waste or traveling assistance is become reduced. People are getting smarter and smarter due to this industry 4.0 as time progresses. So then as per the educational system, we must have a interdisciplinary thinking. We can, as a educationalist, I hope mostly students and other faculty are in this part of this FDP. We must be interdisciplinary. Otherwise, we will be misfit in next 10 years. If you say, so as I were Swaminathan, if you are asking me 2010, what is your knowledge in machine learning or other than communication? If you ask, sorry, I am only specialist in communication. Don't ask other than else. I'll be stringent. But we have to be evolved, because we people are here. We need a interdisciplinary thinking to implement this industry 4.0 to evolve the needs, because all the 4.0 either in equipments or technology which need all are in interdisciplinary nature. I have to work with an electrical engineer, or I must have a knowledge regarding electrical system or in a mechanical system. That's why new courses are evolving in the engineering we are witnessing it in this year. Computer business system, management system, cyber security, machine learning, artificial intelligence. So we are in a period of evolving. Our engineering curriculum is also getting evolved. So that is the main important thing. Then communication is going to play a massive role. Okay, the introduction of 5G is going to play a massive role in the communication. In 2016-17, I am just used my mobile phone, Android phone, only for the purpose of chatting and those things. Now slowly we evolve to video call, video conferencing. Then we are going to see there is no more need for TV. Everything we are seeing it in mobile. We are installing all the thing. Just we have a app .apk and we are installing, and we are everything we are seeing. Not only us, even the kindergarten student or our babies are seeing those thing, getting interested. So main important thing, smart communication is also getting smarter. So that is the main important thing. We are becoming people in getting in a network. Any information which I am sharing, I am sharing to say around 1,000 to 1,500 people at a time. So we are becoming people get connected in a network. That is far more important. So in this lecture, I hope as a professor, I always want to follow outcome-based education. At this end of this lecture, I hope participants will get an idea of Industry 4.0, and I will suggest some projects which can be introduced. Either research oriented, you can write research for DSTs or for ISRO, and or for any other research agency, or you can give it to your students. So what is the Industry 4.0, where it is mainly concentrating on? So the main concentration is on in service sector, in cyber security, big data analytics, cloud computing, and RFID technologies and cognitive computing. Whereas in manufacturing technologies, in mobile, 3D, and advanced robotics, and machine to machine learning. Here, the evolve of 3D printing is playing a very important role, and it is changing the economy of the India, both in automobile and in handicraft, and also in the biomedical. Such a role it is playing. This 3D printing technology is getting evolved and getting day by day it is getting evolved. And no surprise, all of us we know Internet of Things. So Internet of Things is nothing but how we are controlling everything using our mobile. Okay, how we are going to evolve, how we are going to become very smarter. One important thing I used to tell my professor, whenever I am going to either Delhi or Mumbai or Ranchi, he used to ask me how you are traveling, how you got, where you are staying. Because due to the Internet of Things, due to its help, I can be able to understand what are the facilities available, what are the good hotel or good restaurants are available, so that I can be able to book that particular hotel in advance. So the information and that is the quality of service is getting improved in the Internet of Service. The benchmark is getting increased. For example, even in education, for example, if the product is very low, automatically the service provider will give a low ratings. So that is a very important thing. The evolve of 3D printer and the Internet of Things play a major role. And apart from this, I think so we are in the research level mode in the cyber security. Still, this is one of a threat for India. We are not very good enough in giving security protocols which will be applying for the upcoming technologies, because some of our system are still in IPv4. We have to evolve ourselves for the IPv6. Still, I am seeing in most remote part of areas, still people are using IPv4 standards in networking. They are not evolving to IPv6. Similarly, in mobile technology, when we if 5G is getting introduced, definitely it will play a major role in India in getting realized these things. So what I am going to tell regarding this industry 4.0 and these evolving industries. So I am going to touch up only three major things which will have influence for our country India. Because first thing, 3D printers. I am going to discuss regarding industry 4.0, main important skeleton 3D printers, and what are the different type of 3D printers which has been used in India, and its applications in medical, automobile, and handicrafts, which plays it changed the entire dimension in the manufacturing sector. So next thing is I am going to speak about the Internet of Things using mobile technology in travel, personal security, and surveillance. So main important thing, one of the main application of Internet of Things, I would tell surveillance. Then third one, how we can evolve and how we can introduce more security protocols in the network layers, so that our system will be always protected, our passwords will be always getting protected. So this is another important thing, because every day we are seeing army is an armed army is losing his money due to a fake a fake ATM card used by a hacker, or old age person is losing his money by sharing his OTP information to someone else who is calling from some part of India or from any other part of the world. So these are some of the things we must have to learn. And I am just going to touch up little bit in artificial intelligence and robotic systems. So these are my objective for this particular presentation. So what is mean by 3D printers? So where we already know about printers, okay, where we are printing everything, anything else in the 2D format, a photo or a font or anything else, we will print it in a 2-dimensional structure. If we do it in a 3-dimensional format, then it is called as a 3D printer. Okay, there are around 5 major types. There are with a little modification, they may subdivide with so many types of laser printers. But as far as my concern, there are only 5 major types of 3D printers. First one is the basic stereolithography and digital light processing. So basically, this will be evolved. This will be designed using a 3D CAD tool using our system. So simulation is playing a major role in mechanics. Why 3D printer is playing a major role? I am designing a solid. Okay, I am designing a solid. Here, material is not a matter. Here, in this particular stereolithography and digital light processing, the material used for stereolithography is liquid polymer, and digital light processing is for plastics. So here the thing is, I am designing a model or a solid. Okay, so now what I have to do is, if I design it using a simple 3D CAD tool, or I have designed it, design a tool using a paint. Okay, but I want to realize it in a solid. So how I can able to do? Previously, people will go for architect, a special architect who will design your through his architectural knowledge. People will go to a smithy, so that they want a particular solid, which will take time, around 10 days or 20 days. Now this 3D printer may reduce that time, so that this particular solid can be manufactured within the time. That is the main important thing. Coming back to the stereolithography, the main important point in the 3D printers are all the 3D printers will manufacture their solids which are in whatever dimension. It is from bottom to top approach. It will start to do the process only from bottom, then it will finish in the top. It will do it in the bottom to top approach. There are so many approaches are there, either in a Cartesian format or in a delta format, or so many methods are there. But the only thing is, it will start from the bottom of the solid, that is starting from this point, and it will end it in the top. Okay, so likewise it will the manufacturing will be done in this format. So in this stereolithography, in this particular method, how the manufacturing will be done. So simple thing, a liquid polymer will be the material. That polymer will be constructed into a constructed into a small cup. So I am using the laser beam to structure this solid. So this entire, once the solid has been designed using the system 3D CAD tool or any other software which is used in the computer, then immediately that dimension will be cut into slice. For example, it will be cut into n number of slices. From bottom to top, it will be cut into a n number of slices, and then the slices will have a uniform thickness of D. So that is the main important thing of this stereolithography. Then this dimension will be sent as a data input to this particular laser. Okay, laser, if I am using digital light processing and the material is plastic, then we will use laser. If it is stereolithography, only change, the material will be polymer, and I will be using a electron beam for the melting this materials. So the only thing is, here I am doing the first layer by slice it will be doing. So S1 construction, then S2 construction, then S3, S4, S5, S6. Likewise, the model will be constructed in the slice level, so that it will be the construction will be made ready in say 1 or 2 hours, or even 10 hours according to the dimensions. So that is the main important role. So where these 3D printers are playing a main important role. These 3D printers are playing a main important role, especially in the handicraft industries, because we know now we are recycling the plastic waste, especially in the roads. Hard plastics we are recycling for laying the roads. Similarly, now the plastics are now grinded into a micro material, and it has been used for 3D printing also. So here we are the color everything we have to select accordingly. If we choose that type of color material, it will start to construct the thing. The only thing is these slices will be the laser will be moving in a round axis to construct this entire solid. So that is the main important significant in this type of stereolithography. The stereolithography is nothing but we are constructing it in a slice by step format from top to bottom approach. So that is the main important thing. So the difference between the stereolithography method and the digital light processing method is, in stereolithography I am using the electron beam and liquid polymer, whereas in digital light processing I am using plastics, that is material plastic, not in a solid or any form. I am using it as a material. I will grind those plastic into microns, any used plastic or unused plastic, that is up to the manufacturer regarding the quality. Then I will use the laser. So this is regarding the digital light processing and regarding the 3D light printers. Next thing, the selective lasers sintering, multi-jet fusion and fused deposition modeling. Okay, so here especially I just want to concentrate in the selective laser sintering. Sintering is nothing but, here there are so many micron structures. Here all the material will be poured into a micron structure where the laser will melt this micron structure and make it, arrange it into a solid. The micron structure will be melted and either it may get converted into a liquid, and then it will be cool off and it will become a solid structure what we want. Just a prototype model of a building. Here just I want to do it where the powder is fully filled with the materials. Here once again, material means what type of material, another question will arise. Here this particular selective laser sintering, multi-fusion method and fuse deposition method, the main application is in the automobile or auto ancillaries. Auto ancillary parts manufacturing, it plays an important role. For example, a car wheel. I want to construct a car wheel. So usually the car wheel is made up of aluminum along with some inclusion with the iron. Proper the combination should be there. So as a manufacturer, what I have to do is I have to fill the aluminum and the iron in a proper combination. I have to mix and I have to put that powder in this powder bed, and I have to put the extra powder in this one to if there is a need. So what is this process is, the laser will do the lacing process. The micron material will get melted and it will get form a lattice solid structure according to the wish I want. Okay, right? So that is the main important thing. Here in previously we have seen plastics in whatever shape and liquid polymer in this stereolithography. and digital light processing. But here I am very particular in the material size. The material should be in the microstructure. Think about it. So the material should be in the microstructure. Why you may ask, why we need to do the material in the microstructure? Because then it will be very easy for us to put the laser, and that laser will melt in a very quick succession, because the material is very tiny in a microstructure. So it will absorb the heat energy in a rapid manner and get melted, and the laser will get make the solid in that particular point. So earlier it will be full of powder, whereas now I have got a construction of a solid. Can you able to understand? Inside a full powder bed, I have now melted a solid. I can give you a simple example for this process. Take a full cup of mud. Okay, pour water. That is, mud means raw micron mud, and pour water in it. Immediately, if it is goes into that mud, only you can able to see feel the solid in a particular area. If you pour water in that particular mud, so you can able to get solid only in the particular area where the mud is getting closer and closer and form a structure due to the water. Okay, right? I hope you all of you understand. So accordingly, here instead of water, there will be a laser, and instead of mud, here it is nothing but a combination of aluminum and iron material micron structure, where this laser is for lacing and making this micron structure in a arranged lattice manner and making it in a solid shape. Okay, right? The work of the water is now done by the laser, and the mud, the aluminum and the iron structure is became a solid structure. That is the main important thing in this selective laser sintering. Previously, in manufacturing sector, we what is the main important advantage in this 3D printer? Previously, in manufacturing sector, to design a particular solid, okay, it will take at least 1 day to design a wheel of a lorry, right? Wheel of a lorry, it will take a entire day. We cannot be able to assure whether it is in a proper dimension. That is the main disadvantage in the industry 2.1 and 3.0. But in 3D printer, I am making it in a precise level. Accuracy is 99.9%. I am making it in a precise level. The dimensions are in a very perfect manner. So according to the my vendor need, I am designing my structure. I am designing my designs, and I am finally giving it for the production. So production time. What is the first disadvantage? I can't able to assure the dimension which I have manufactured during the automobile auto ancillaries manufacturing time. I can't assure it is a perfect structure. But after introduction of the 3D printers, I can able to assure the size in a precise measure. Second point, time wastage. To design a particular design, I have to cut that particular solid. Previously, try to understand, we have cut the solid and we will heat it. In the melting point, we will reshape it using Smithy and everything else. Now there is no need. I have to grind the aluminum thing into a micro powder, and the laser will take care everything, so that the manufacturing time is became drastically low due to this particular 3D printer. That is the main important significant thing for the smarter manufacturing system in India. So what regarding for what kind of projects we can introduce in the 3D printer? In 3D printer, any system, any machine, definitely there will be some drawbacks are there. As far as in Indian concern, we are using most of the stereolithography and DLP printers in educational sectors. Whereas we are only in the manufacturing industries, people are using fused deposition modeling and selective laser sintering method, where they can't be able to find the fault. Once again, this manufacturing is from top to bottom only. Sorry, bottom to top only. So from bottom only, it will start doing the construction, and finally it will end at the top. So what the manufacturer of a particular system, what they are requesting, when I have done a field survey, they can't be able to find the fault, some micron fault. Fault may happen due to the non-proper melting of the laser or high proper melting of the laser. Two faults are there. So I can explain the fault using the paint. So this is the smooth surface we want. Sorry. This is the smooth surface we want. So in this surface, there may be a small bump may come. That will be in the micron level, which may affect the quality of the product. So, or this is due to the improper melting by the laser. This projection is coming. Second thing is, again I need a smooth surface. I will get a shallow defect. These are some of the defects which I may get in during the 3D printing process. Sorry, during the 3D printing process, I will get this kind of problem. So how we can give the solution for this? So people are now doing a research during because doing research in using image processing to find out the fault, because in the laser, in the scanner part, along with that lasing time, a camera will take around 100 pictures for each and every sorry, not 100 100 pictures for each and every minute of that manufacturing process. Rapid change we can able to know. So using the pictures, now using the digital image processing technique, using artificial intelligence, we can able to find, we can give the solution where the fault can be occurring, because each and every machine, that is you can able to see fused deposition modeling and selective laser sintering machine for the automobile material are in terms of crores. In terms of crores, we need to buy it. So they are very particular in giving a zero fault material. Okay, so we can, as a electronic communication engineer, we can use the artificial intelligence technique, either random forest method or a conventional neural network method, we can give solution in finding out the fault. This is the main important projects we can give it to our students, or we can submit the proposal. So this is the eval of 3D printers in the industry 4.0. And any printer, it is of Cartesian model or in delta type model. So Cartesian, you always know the laser will move only in of north, south, east, west direction. It have only one direction. Whereas in delta type model, it will move in a spherical direction, or it can move in any direction or in any height. Okay, according to the dimension, it can move, any one pulley can move in any different height. So this is I would suggest delta type printers are far more better than others. Another one important thing, another one project which we can be able to suggest is, in particular in handicraft industries, people are now using a scanner to scan our face, and immediately they are giving the solid within time using the printer, but they can't be able to get the perfect structure. 3D printer is doing the excellent job, but the scanner is not properly scanning, even though we are using. So even though it is doing a scanning, it is not giving the perfect output for the 3D printer to construct a exact precise face. It is constructing a face, but there is some differences, there is some fault, so that the end customer is not getting satisfied. So hereafter, building a statue of the any persons, okay, or constructing a statue of any politicians will become far more easier. Like previously, there won't be smithy or poultry shop will become a history right after 10 years. So this is the main important thing of the industry 4.0. The latest invention of the 3D printer, I really amazed. 3D printer construction of a home. Using a 3D printer, see the dynamics. Using a 3D printer, scientist has done construction of a home. So that is also a real evolving. The material used for a home, you already know. He used grind cement materials, and he constructed this particular home using 3D printer technology. So who knows, we can be able to see. So now moving on from 3D printer, I am moving to the Internet of Things. Internet of Things is very, very simple. If I am using smart sensors, this is my mobile phone. If I am converting my mobile phone to check my blood glucose level, then this is Internet of Things, where I have to insert a smart sensor, where that particular sensor will read the blood glucose level. In software part, I have to just install an app, but sensor is very, very important in Internet of Things, right? So that is the main important thing. So as far as Internet of Things, I feel in upcoming days, we are going to get installed with so many sensors in our Android mobile. The Android mobile cost variation will be changing according to the number of sensors which has been installed in the mobile, so that we will get so many facilities in our mobile itself. So invention of IC based sensor stack, that is in a particular IC itself, I can able to read the blood glucose level. I can able to do the weather monitoring. I can able to read the heartbeats. I can able to read the footsteps. I can able to read my pressure level. I can able to check what is my body temperature. Likewise, I can able to check n number of data in one simple census take. One main example I have recently seen. Definitely, I have seen some positive outcomes in this COVID pandemic. Previously, this ventilators, if you see in ICU, ventilators, the cost of the ventilators are very high. It is around 15 lakhs, 20 lakhs, even 1 crore. People have found out ventilators, but due to this COVID, there is a need for a very cheap ventilator with all facilities. Now I am rather happy. I am seeing people are inventing so many biomedical devices, especially in India, especially in South India. People are inventing so many cheap ventilators with all sensor stake facilities, especially Wipro. I have came across with all the facilities which are needed in the ventilator, blood pressure monitoring, uh, ECG, then um, uh, blood glucose level with a telemedicine facility. That particular person can, whether he is going to reach any abnormal condition, immediately it is giving alarm to the mobile of the doctor, so that he can immediately come and see the uh, uh, patient, and yeah, uh, uh, abnormal situation can be averted. So that kind of technology has been developed in low cost. That is the main important thing. Again, that body of that 3D the body of that particular ventilator sensor stake has been developed with a 3D printer model. So they are producing around 120 ventilators. It is an amazing thing. 120 ventilators with sensors take. They are doing the production every day with 120 ventilators is something amazing. They are doing it in Wipro Bangalore, where I have recently visited. So the thing is, so using Internet of Things, the sensor and wired and wireless sensor playing a smart important role in getting the data acquisition is also plays a role. So now this thing is became far more our in a lighter manner. Our children, our wife are not becoming main thing, but data and our mobile becoming very important, plays an important role in each and every life, our human life. So I would request all of the researchers to design a sensor stake, smart sensor stake in a IC technology, so that that particular IC can able to sense n number of sensing information, so and it can be stored. So IoT architecture, this is very, very important. So this will give you the step-by-step process of Internet of Things. Still, I am seeing some of the students, my UG scholars, PG scholars, they will come up with a set of box, and they are telling I have done it in via IoT. But if I am asking whether you are following this particular 7-layer model, then they are getting confused. If you are feeling I have implemented in IoT, definitely this you must have implemented this 7-layer model. Mostly we are get involved only in this first 2-layer model, and we will show the projects. But if any person who are finished up to the 7th layer, definitely it will be a great invention. So first thing, physical layer, where we will use the sensors to take information. Only thing, my current project I will tell, where I am monitoring the pollution level. So pollution level, once again, there is a problem. What kind of pollution? What are the things? Liquid pollution or air pollution or anything? I am doing the research in air pollution. Then I have another issue. What type of gases, harmful gases, air pollution I have to do? So the complexity for me in air pollution, I have to buy one sensor for to detect SO2, then carbon monoxide and nitrogen dioxide, then sulfur. Likewise, I have to detect then ammonium, because Andhra is meant for only industry. You might have seen during the COVID time, there is a blast happen in the LG polymers, where the gases has been gone evaporated immediately. So many people have become unconscious. So why actually it is happening? Because there is a somewhere defect in the manufacturing process. There is no proper monitoring of expulsion of those harmful gases. That is main thing. So once again, we have to give a solution for this. So here my particular research is, I am particularly in detecting the SO2, sulfur dioxide, where this particular sulfur dioxide, which is exhibiting from the especially from manufacturing industries like Vedanta, that is Sterlite Industries, which is also having its footprints in Maharashtra, where I have seen Sterlite is giving most of the gases are getting out is SO2, where I have seen a very important thing. They are converting those gas which is going out, they are converting those SO2 gases into sulfuric acid, which is plays a very important role and which is need for the raw material for the cotton industries in Tamil Nadu. See, that particular Sterlite copper industry, which is their manufacturing industry in the Tuticorin in down south Tamil Nadu, is now closed due to the protest. But you know, the gas which has been evolved, the main important thing is the pollution matters. But the Vedanta is claiming that it is reducing the SO2. So after doing the research, I found out the SO2 can be converted into a sulfuric acid, and this particular sulfuric acid is the raw material for so many cloth industries for dyeing purpose. Sorry, with low acidity. So that the sulfuric acid rate is getting reduced per ton. Due to the absence of sterlite copper in Tuticorin, now the rate of the copper is increased, and also the rate of the sulfuric acid, which is the raw material for our people in Tirupur, which is the textile hub. We are now forced to get that sulfuric acid from Gujarat, Surat, and from Maharashtra also, where per ton is previously it is around 8,000 rupees. Now it is become 32,000 rupees. So I request you can give projects where how the detection of the SO2 in the air, so that it can be converted, absorbed and converted into sulfuric acid. So this is one of the thing which I have found out in, especially in Vedanta, where they are converting SO2 into sulfuric acid. So remaining carbon monoxide, where simple thing we can we have to plant more trees. That is the only thing we have found. And there is another one excellent solution it has been found in green technology, especially in stubble burning. Now people come up with a different technology where the stubble can be decomposed and converted into a manure. So here one of my completed project I will tell you. In my previous college, Madanapalli Institute of Technology, where we have done in that particular place, Madanapalli, where the tomato manufacture, tomato cultivation is very large. So during the December or November time, there will be a huge amount of tomato will be for under production, and it will go to mandis. What these farmers will do is, due to the low price of the tomatoes, they will throw away the tomatoes in the roads. So this is the particular thing which I have found out. So we, along with some students, have designed one particular project where from tomato alcohol, ethanol can be extracted. Ethanol is an industrial product. Ethanol extraction using IoT. A simple prototype model has been constructed. Ethanol from tomato, we can be able to extract ethanol, and the seeds can be further can be used as a seed for sowing for the further tomato cultivation. So that I have just introduced one type of value added for thing for the tomato farmers, where extracting ethanol from the tomatoes, because you can't even imagine the production of the tomatoes during the time of November and December, like onion manufacturing in Maharashtra. Such a huge thing. So we have to introduce to the farmers some value added products for them, so that it can be minimized, so that in IoT we can be able to tell them in which area where is the need for ethanol for which industry. Ethanol is an important byproduct for many industries in pharma and also in some of the food industries. Ethanol is a very, very important product. So we have to give we can give solution for the farmers using IoT. Already most of the farmers are becoming very smarter and started to install their own value added products for the extracting. They are not now becoming the thing. One of the significant is introduction of the farm law, where farmer can sell their own products, value added products, either anywhere in India or in the world, or they can do the export. So this is the one important thing which I can tell in the IoT. So I already told you the applications where IoT can do. Using IoT, previously during my time, when I had been a child, I will ask my father, who will always come late. I will request him to come early, so that we can go to a nearby eatery shop to take a dinner. Now there is no need. My kid, if he want any eatery, what we are doing? We are doing a Zomato or Swiggy. Just click. We are going to that particular shop, which is of Zomato. We are ordering our product. and in a doorstep has been delivered. So such a change, dynamics has been getting changed, and machine to machine learning. This is one important thing which is needs to be there in IoT. When the 5G introduced, I hope when the 5G is introduced, this machine to machine learning, that is especially in surveillance, will this M2M plays a very important role. Where one important thing I have to tell, previously in 1990s, there is a burglary happened in a gold shop around say around 1,000 grams of gold has been burgled. Still now it has not been solved. It has been an unsolved case. Whereas recently in our in my home state, especially in the place called as Tiruchirappalli, the famous jewel shop Lalita Jewelry, there is a big burglary happened. You can't even imagine, around 10,000 grams of gold has been burgled instantly. You know how much time it has been taken by the police department to find out? They have just taken only 3 days to find out the robbers, because the significance of the webcam, significant of the spy cam. Since in all shops spy cam has been installed, in all roads spy cam has been installed, now I can able to find out whose fault it is. Previously people used to tell lies. Now always the spy cam is there, they can't able to lie. That is the main important significant thing, right? First thing, it is very helpful in the accident, getting insurance from the court, because getting insurance from the court in previous time, before 2015, is a very hard job. Even a person lost a life, if he is insured and getting insurance, his spouse or his children has to wait for 10 to 20 years to getting solved. It is almost like a settlement. Now there is a no need. If there is a road accident is happening, there is a surveillance camera is available, so that I can able to do claim my vehicle insurance. I can claim my personal insurance if I been insured, medical insurance, or my life term. Even I am no more, there is no problem for my spouse and the children. They can able to easily get the insurance from the thing. So surveillance plays a very, very important role both in the security as well as in the insurance sector. It is giving the correct thing in the correct format. And IoT, what is another important industry in service sector? It is playing a role. In another service sector which is playing important role is our entertainment. Now, you know, COVID, previously people going to theaters. Now all the cinemas are now getting introduced in Amazon, Netflix. It may be not new, but number of viewers seeing in the digital platform is now exponentially increasing. It is increasing exponentially, and there is a bad news for the theater owners. The number of members who are coming for the theater is becoming in numbers, in single digits. That is the main important significance. It is happening. People want to see the movie in their home theater and in their home effect. So that is the main important point. So they want, as the industry 4.0 is getting evolved, it is getting evolved with a lot of significant thing. And coming to the third one, what is the thing? Piracy. You know, once again, the main important thing which is getting affected always is the entertainment department. A movie has been released. That movie will be available online in any piracy website within a day, or even before the release itself, it is available. The most of the websites, piracy websites, are maintained by the Indians who are living in abroad, because in abroad the movie is released earlier. They are taking the video immediately and they have found uploading it in a single second. I can able to get a Blu-ray of movie. So what is happening in the entertainment industry? Immediately the number of views is giving the number of money. Subscription amount is getting lower and lower, so that their profit margin is very low in the entertainment industry. That is the main important drawback. But they have found out one solution, particular one solution. But only thing they can, after piracy only they can find out who has done it. Usually piracy is happening when the people are taking the videos in the theaters and they are uploading. So this is the one important significant problem. And even each and every person, we have a problem with our passwords and everything else. So privacy and piracy is a important challenge in this industry 4.0. So here most of the attacks, guessing attack is mostly for the privacy. This is we are in the social media world. We are always sharing our information. Who is our child? What is the child name? What I am doing my business? What is my date of birth? What amount of salary I am doing? Each and every information is getting uploaded by us in the social media. Where I am going today, fortunately or unfortunately, in my WhatsApp, I have informed my peoples that I am doing presentation to it. So people know what I am doing each and every time. So what it creates, some of the person who doesn't like you, who want to trouble you, using your information, he may guess your password. What is the problem? How he can guess my password? What is the problem in typing the password for us is, most of us are very poor. Indians are very poor in setting the password. Most of the time we will put our wife name or mother name or child name or the date of birth or car plate number. Likewise, we are putting the password with which are easily get exposed. Okay, we are not use and we won't change it for a longer time. That is the main important thing. Then dictionary attack. Usually, this is one type of brute force attack where a person will go out to check a dictionary where there is a dictionary is available. If you go to any hacker website, mostly used passwords. So we will use a common password like hi, hello, how, love, or capital LOVE, or 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Likewise, this kind of random, even though it is random, these are some of the commonly used passwords which are available in the dictionary, so that the hacker may use those dictionary. There is a possibility to hack. Third one is brute force attack. Brute force attack is, here still now we are using with 52 plus 26 plus 26 52 and 9 numerics, so 62 and alpha numeric further around 15. So say around 60, around 77 characters. We are still fighting with the hackers with the 77 characters only. 26 small cap characters, 26 large cap characters, then 10 numbers starting from 0 to 9, then alphanumeric values. That is the main important thing. So that is the main important problem in the thing. If person is can't be able to guess or doing the dictionary attack, he will do the brute force attack in the physical layer. Sir, how he can do a brute force attack in a physical layer? Yeah, there is a problem for us. Where I am pressing a keyboard key now. How it will take? I am pressing a word H. How it will take? It will take the machine will take that word as a, I have hit a font, but it will take it as a ASCII character, ASCII value. So each and every ASCII value, if he decode it, automatically we can he can able to find out the information. So that is called as the brute force attack. Still, that's why we are using hash function to make the thing in the random format, but still we are highly exposed. If a hacker want to do the want to hack the any website, you can do it in a span of second. That much level, we can able to see Twitter bots. So many people keep on going and hacking the very renowned people's accounts, especially in Twitter, using the bots. So that much, so many possibilities they will go in whatever possibility way, either in physical layer or in session layer. Any possibility they will go out and they will do it. They will do it according to the computer processing speed. Okay, that is the main important thing in the brute force attack. So how we can give a solution for this? This is the significance of the 5G. You may ask, what is the difference between the 4G and 5G? People will tell, here in 4G we have used OFDM, here we are going to use NOMA or OFDMA or anything else, so many things. This significant is going to come. What is the significant? Friends, I am telling you, our laptop are going to become history down the line in the 10 years. We have to change our laptops and mobiles, everything after the introduction of the 5G, because in 5G, all the codes are became unique codes. No more ASCII code is going to come. All are going to be converted into unique codes. All the hardware languages are going to become the unique code. So what is there? So I am changing from ASCII to Unicode. What is the significance is going to happen? Right. The significant is Unicode is having the code for all the languages. All the global languages in and around the world, it is getting get coded. ASCII code is only introduced for the English alphabets and numbers and the alphanumeric values. Whereas in Unicode, I can able to directly use my mother tongue languages either for typing or I can use it as a password. Now, for example, Marathi, how many characters are there? Definitely there won't be 26 characters. I am damn sure. Marathi, definitely it will have around 250 to 300 characters. Think about how you are having a Marathi password for your Google account, for your bank account. Whether you need a now a standard of 8 passwords, 8-digit password. There is no need. You can able to construct a Marathi account password with 3. I can able to construct in my own language Tamil. I can able to construct my Tamil password within 3 characters. Then after introduction of numbers and alphanumeric, your password is getting stronger and stronger. That is the significance of the 5G technology which is going to come, where we are going to use our own languages. So what is the next significance? Our languages is getting preserved. You see, we are typing our languages in the form of our English characters. For example, in Tamil, Vanakkam means I will type in my WhatsApp due to my laziness in my English characters as Vanakkam. Okay, that is the significance it is bringing. The 5G, after introduction of 5G, 16-bit Unicode is going to replace this 8-bit ASCII code. That is the important significance, especially in the physical and data link layer, so that we can able to introduce more secure protocol. We can able to construct more, introduce more secure protocols. That is the important thing. So this is what I told you. Till now, previously, Englishman will use "God bless you."
Hello?
Sir, Professor. Yeah.
How much time do you need for?
Another 10 to 15 minutes.
Sir,
10 minutes. 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
So we will go into this.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Okay, wait 5 minutes. Thank you.
Yeah. So another thing, English to English, during the evolving, we have used English to English, say God bless you. We are using English alphabet and the meaning will tell in English. Now here I have used English alphabets, but the meaning is in Tamil. This is one type of cryptography, where only a person who knows Tamil can able to understand. Here people can do a sharing of information can be done using this thing. So what the next thing? Here see, now I have used a Tamil alphabet, but the meaning is English. Here using my Tamil alphabet, I have used God bless you using Tamil alphabet. Again, only the person who knows Tamil can able to understand God bless you. So this place, without converting a plain text into a cipher text, I am sharing the information in a common domain. So only at the language is going to play a major role in the upcoming security in the industry for 4.2. So this is there is a significance in this one. So this is a small thing which has been me and my friend Rajendran has done a small research where for South Asian languages, which one having the high power in getting cracked, where we have found Brahmini and Devanagari South Asian language plays an important role, where the Sora Sudang is the least one apart from the another one. I can't able to see it due to which one. So these two are having a significant in this one. In the password, so password time. So if I am using only the English alphabet, numbers and symbols and spaces, within an hour I can be getting cracked. I have used a password, PASSWORD. I can able to, my account has been cracked within 1 hour. Whereas I am using my Tamil language or a Hindi language or a Malayalam language or a Telugu language. For example, people like me, I know little bit Hindi and little bit Tamil. So a hybrid language, hybrid password, it has been used. My password cracking time getting extended, getting increased. I'm not telling you my password cannot be cracked, but I have increased the time of getting cracking by the cryptanalysis. One thing in security, one thing we have to understand, always cryptanalysis is having an upper hand than the cryptographer. Crypto hacker is always having the upper hand. You cannot challenge in front of the hacker. Definitely my system can be also hacked, but what is the timing I am giving? I am making the timing far more longer for him, and I am increasing the complexity for him to get cracked. That is the main important significance which I am introducing. So this is the simple method which we have done N-Mulet mapping, where a message will be done, so that I am the Unicode which is in the alphanumeric, I am giving a user defined code. So all the alphanumeric characters has been coded by myself. This is we itself has been coding on our own. So, and then after doing the mapping, then it is going the formal encryption and decryption process, and reverse mapping will be doing. This is the one important significant thing we have done during N-Mulet mapping method, where we have done for our mother tongue Tamil. I request you people, you can do it for your mother tongue or some other Indian languages also. Now we are currently working on the global languages also. So coming to the conclusion, so introduction, why this industry 4.0 is in the starting phase. Industry 4.0 is in the starting phase because 5G communication is not introduced. Still in 4G, still there is the speed limit. Still we are seeing buffering of the videos. But after the introduction of the 5G, there won't be any issues. But we have to improve our hardware. So we are in the initial phase of the 4.0, and we are lagging in some areas. We are leading in automobile sector. We are leading in medical sector. We are leading in IO. We are to the mark in IoT, but in security level, we are little bit lacking. Industry 4.0 means a man can survive alone. That is the main important significant thing. Without any people's help, only with the machines I can survive in this world. That is the introduction in the industry 4.0. You need not to have another person or another human being or another living being help. With the machines itself, you can lead your life and you can end your life. That is the significance or the evolving of the industry 4.0. Internet privacy, the challenge, internet privacy, security is the important challenge in this industry 4.0. And some of the thing, designing of IC stack, smart sensor designing, I am requesting you, all of you guys, to kindly go through, kindly encourage your UG scholars to move to build up the entire sensor stack, so that so many new projects has been introduced. Finally, in educational sector, definitely I am seeing in our education, it is reshaping our education. First, Swayam has been introduced. Now we are become like a Swayam tutors. We are started to tutoring the student in the via online. We are giving content. We are creating contents. Definitely in future, down say in 10 years, there is no need for students to come every day to college. He may even listen. If there is a need, he can come to college and he can see, listen. This is already applied in abroad universities and in IITs, some of the IITs, but it will give you a significant change once the industry 4.0 with 5G. Definitely, I believe education sector in India is going to see a significant change, so that any person anywhere else from anywhere else can be able to study and be able to get that knowledge. So these are my conclusion. So I request participants, if there is any queries, you can ask.
Thank you, Professor. Participants are requested to discuss if you have any kind of a query, or you can chat anything. Just unmute yourself and you can ask.
Mantri sir. Hello, Mantri sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Sir, bola.
Sir.
Yes.
Just I want to continue some sharing about this security issues, what sir has told nicely.
Okay.
Generally what happens, we people are interested using the free Wi-Fi, but using the free Wi-Fi is always dangerous. So as a faculty, I am also requesting my student to avoid using the free Wi-Fi, because there is a biggest threat that the free Wi-Fi which are available, they might leak your details.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is
Sure,
just
yeah.
Thank you.
One more thing, what I observed, because there are various attacks on me also, and generally these hackers are going to call you in the morning rush hours, maybe at 10 or 11 o'clock, or in the evening 5 to 6 o'clock, because we are either going to office or we are coming back from the office. So my request is that don't answer them at all. Ask them to communicate anything on your email addresses, because they lure you. They are going on temptation to you. They give offer.
Tomorrow we have a session on that security. So again, we will discuss more in that case. So, but regarding this session, it's nice, fantastic session. Any other query, if you have, then we can discuss on this.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
One thing I want to touch up with Professor whomever have talked. Nowadays, we all of us used one important particular software, thinking that this is a secured one, Truecaller. The Truecaller, which will give a solution who is actually calling, but actually Truecaller itself is a device which is collecting information from our debit card details to transaction details, and who are the people who are calling each and every day, which is out there in the domain, in the darknet. So I request even people to uninstall Truecaller, which is not been made up of from India, so that you will be secure. This is one important significant thing.
Definitely, sir. If participants, any question? If no, I request Golab sir, please proceed.
Okay, sir. Thank you, Dr. Swaminathan, sir, for details about the industry perspective 4.0 concerned to the green and secure communication. Today, today only I come to know what is actually the industry 4.0. You have given the detailed explanation of this industry 4.0, and which will be the helpful for the participants also, as well as me also. Sir, you also have covered about the 3D printers and the stereo lithography and the digital light processing. That is also a very good topic, and very well you have discussed about this one, and which is very helpful for the researchers also. And you also highlighted the how the 5G mobile communication plays a role for the industry 4.0. Also, how this 4.0 means the man can survive alone with the help of the technology. That also you have explained, and also you have in depth also internet's privacy and security's role in this industry 4.0, and for this 5G. And also you have commented also on the design of the IC based integrated sensor stack, which is the need of ours. And with this, you also highlighted on the 5G and its impacts on the coming years, particularly for the encryption of the data very well. And and that is the today's need also.
I request all the participants to. Sir, yeah, if you have finished. Your voice is not audible, sir.
Now it is audible?
Yeah, it is audible.
Sorry.
Okay. In between call was there. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for your nice presentation. And I again hope from you such a type of the. Yes, sir.
Yes, you finish up, then ask everyone to switch on their video, so that we will have one group photo.
Yes. Participants are requested to please switch on your video so that we can have the group video.
Professor, you can also.
Yeah, I'm in video mode only. Oh, I'm not.
Okay.
Actually, it is disabled, I think so.
Just a minute. I will take the screenshots.
I thought yes, I was in the video mode.
Yeah, sure. Just a minute. Add yourself so that I will have a more snapshot into this.
No, my video has been video icon has been disabled, sir.
Okay.
Since I am sharing the screen, right. Now it will be available.
Yes.
Just a minute.
Now it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just a minute. 2-3 screens are there, so I am taking that.
Hi all. I think so. Now, actually, I thought I am presenting in video mode also. That's why I connected it in my LAN.
No issue, sir. No issue. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I request, I actually very thankful to Mantri sir.
Thank you, sir.
Making this FDB as IEEE SDB, so that I will be getting value added each and every day, because I am one of IEEE volunteer for anything else, for conferences and workshop, and for projects, everything else. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity. I thank the management of SIT Lenovo and the session coordinator, Dr. Sharad Golab, and Vice Principal and HOD and Coordinator Mantri Sab. And I thank the participants. One humble request, I have listed out some of the three or four projects where I am currently also working on. If any participants, any people are having interest, you can free to call me. I will type my ID and my mobile number, so that all of you can take a note, and you can free to contact me anytime.
Yeah, sure, Professor. We will definitely
Yes,
we
sir.
will communicate to all.
Yeah.
And indeed, it is my pleasure that you have accepted my invitation, and thank you very much for nice presentation.
Yeah, thank you. I request all the participants to give your honest feedback so that I can improve my lecture in the upcoming days. Thank you. Thank you.
Sure. DK sir, please stop the recording.
Yes, sir. Okay.
And thank you very much once again to all the participants as well as the organizers and today's session coordinator. Nicely